Welcome back to Beautiful Souls. This is Oni Zerg, also known as James. Where we last left off, Aizawa had come into the classroom, told him to sit down. Everyone's kind of looking at Izuku now because he said, Aizawa Sensei, you're my homeroom teacher. So that all goes as planned, and then Aizawa mentions that they're going to be doing a quirk assessment test. Just like in Canada, a few students ask about this, and then a blonde-haired boy then asks, "What about the commencement ceremony?" Aizawa says, "If you really want to be a hero, those things don't really help with it. Now do what I say, get your dang suits on, and get your asses outside." Everyone... And then Ida's like, "What? A hero talking like this?" So they go out, and in the changing room and everything, people see Izuku putting on, like, bracelets. They ask him about it, and Izuku's like, "Yeah, it helps with my copy quirk. It helps prevent me from getting any new quirks because, well, I have a lot, and it's hard to deal with. And each new quirk adds a set of new strains, and it helps me with my quirk." As Izuku, like, kind of is looking off. And then one of the boys like, "Wait, you have a copy quirk too? That's so weird. I didn't know anyone else had one except for, like, my mom, but mine's stronger than hers. She can only copy one quirk at a time, but yeah, whatever. Seems like I found my rival. I've got to prove that I'm better than you." Izuku, like, kind of smiles a little bit, thinking in the back of his head, "If you only knew. Only knew." And then a spike-eared blonde kid just kind of scoffs at the boys, like, comment, and the boys like, "What is it?" "Two copycat bastards in the same damn class. I'm gonna crush both of you," as he, like, walks out of the locker room. Everyone makes their way out to the track and field. Aizawa tosses a ball to Izuku and asks him, like, "What's your farthest long throw?" Izuku says, "About 35-40 meters. Everyone's, like, Ida is shocked by this. Oyama is shocked by this. And Oraka is shocked by this. Because they saw Izuku completely destroy the zero-pointer. And then Ochako speaks up, "But you destroyed, like, a tenth of the forest behind the training grounds. How is it possible that you only got 40 meters? Izuku stares at them blankly, like, "What? Destruction of the area outside the training ground?" And then he turns to Aizawa, and Aizawa's just kind of grinning, doing a... Izuku's like, "Damn, I thought I controlled it better than that." So you see, he steps up, he powers up one for all, and then he throws it, and he gets 55 meters. He turns to Aizawa, kind of, like, with a grimacing look. And Izuku's like, come on, Sensei. I've gotten better at controlling my quirks. Fine, but if you blow your arm off, you're gonna have to get your own damn water. Everyone just kind of shocked by this statement that wait, Izuku, like, they're like, wait, Midoriya knows the teacher? What? More questions begin to pile up. So Izuku, he cocks back. His body, wow, his body begins to spark with a green electricity around it. Not as much as it would in canon, but like sparks just leaping off of his skin. And he thinks, okay, if I use one draw to throw it at 10%, then use then he's like, and then I use wave motion with my other hand. And then he cringes at this part. He's like, then I can do a separation explosion. Pump it up even further. Alright. Smash! Everyone, like, hears Izuku say, and the ball just rockets up. As it begins to fall, Izuku, like, puts his other hand out. And they notice that he's cradling his other hand a little bit, and he pushes out, like, wave motion, kicking it back up. And then, like, as it begins to fall again, they just see Izuku clench both of his fists and pull his arms in, and they hear an explosion, and the ball gets kicked up again, shooting out even further. Aizawa grinning, turns the phone around. 1,822 meters? What the hell? Katsuki has a little bit of a sweat drop down his head. He's like, I have to ask that damn brat how he did that. Aizawa then kind of collapse a little bit, and Izuku's like, see, Sensei, I only lost a finger this time. Everyone just turns to Izuku and they see he's missing his pinky. Good job, you didn't blow off your whole damn arm this time like in the entrance exam. No, wait, you blew both your arms off. Aizawa pulls out a water bottle and tosses it to Izuku, catches it with his hand, begins to drink it. As he drinks the water, like, people just see like his pinky starting to reform. As he joins the line, Aizawa gives his explanation. The tests pretty much go as usual, and then when it comes to the end, and Aizawa did threaten them with expulsion of whoever comes in last. He walks up to Hakari, Invisible Girl. Hakari, I can't pronounce her name. I'll get that down for the next part. But he walks up to her, and everyone can tell by like the way her gym clothes are positioned that she's slumped over. Aizawa then says, well, you have invisibility, good infiltration quirk. You're lacking in physical attributes. But if you can get into a place without being seen, but as he throws his scarf out and it stops right in front of her face, and he retracts it. But if you can't take down the villains, then you're going to get hurt. If I don't see any improvement by you by the end of the semester, I'll expel you on the spot. Now everyone, go get a syllabus and you're relieved for the day. Midoriya, stand back. There's a few things I need to speak to you about. Everyone goes to the classroom, and Monoma's like, what the hell? That kid, you said he had a copy quirk, but he was... Monoma's kind of saying this out loud, and then Katsuki comes by. So you figured it out, haven't you? Damn bastard copied my quirk. Freaking explosion that I used is mine. You got that for me. So, your copy quirk. Are you able to keep him like that damn nerd? Monoma's shocked by this. And Katsuki's like, whatever. You damn copy bastards are all alike. You think the quirks you get are better than the original. Pushes past Monoma. Sorry. And everyone gets their syllabuses. Izuku, on his way to the class, he sees Monoma standing there, and he's like, Deku, was it? And Izuku's like, that's just a nickname that Kachan used to use to make fun of me. Sorry, but you have a copy quirk. What exactly can it do and can't do? Izuku then huffs. He's like, I can textile perfectly copy someone's quirk whoever I come in skin-to-skin contact with. And if I'm not careful, I can accidentally copy someone's quirk, and it has a whole lot of issues with me, like I said before. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 quirks that I can use right now, and a few that are there, but I don't know how to use them, and it's very difficult. Someone with a copy quirk would understand. Monoma's just like, what? You keep the quirks? I have a time limit on them. And you don't have control over what you copy? Damn, dude. That must suck. Yeah, it really does. As he's pointing to his ears, and he's like, yeah, I had a run-in with the bunny hero Mirko. Mutation quirks are the worst, as he points to his hands, creating a right-handed fist with his right hand, and then immediately creating a left-handed fist with the same hand. I also take on physical mutations permanently, so you can see why I jumped when you went to grab me earlier. In any case, after the scolding that I got from Sensei, I kind of just want to get my syllabus and leave. Monoma kind of moves out of Izuku's way. Izuku goes in, gets his syllabus, and he leaves. But as he's getting out of UA, he notices that Ochako and Ida are waiting for him. Ida kind of apologizes to him about how he acted during the entrance exam, saying that you're a far better student than me. To see that there was a secret aspect of the test. Izuku rolls his eyes and it's like, it's not that, Ida. It's just whatever a hero really would do, help those in need. It's what a hero's supposed to do. And, well, I've always been like that, as Kachan would say. Always butting my damn nose in where my stupid Deku face doesn't belong. But it's whatever. I want to be a hero. And they just showed me my thing. And then he turns to Uraraka and he's like, what did you mean by me destroying, like, the forest? And Ida and Ochako are like, you didn't look back, did you? Izuku's like, why would I? And Ida just goes, facepalm. Well, you see, after the robot exploded, it kind of blew over the wall and took a little bit off, and then from what I saw as I was leaving, they were putting out a forest fire. Izuku goes, so that's why Sensei was mad. He told me that I didn't control my quirk. So they talk as they walk in, and then Izuku's, then they hear, hey, you three, wait up! I wasn't done talking to you, Izuku. What? And they turn around and they see Monoma, and he's like, look, I kind of overheard what you were telling them. That Bakugo kid, he used to bully you, right? Izuku says, yeah, it was until I opened my quirk. He always called me Deku, bullied me, called me a freak. Everyone always felt weird after touching me. That's why I kind of keep to myself. I apologize if I seem like a dick, but I constantly have to keep my quirks in check. And if I don't, they just see Izuku's face relax, and part of his face begins to morph into sludge and like a clear liquid. A portion of it begins. See, I have some quirks that are problematic, to say. And if I'm not careful, their activators can go off. So I'm constantly having to meditate. Ida pipes up, like, so that's why you were meditating in the... Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to disrespect President Mike. It's just, I constantly have to think of control. So they get to the train station, they part ways. Monoma so happens to be taking the same train that Izuku is. Izuku's like looking at Monoma, and then when they get off, he turns to Izuku. Look, I know what it's like being bullied because of having a copy quirk. I don't like being like this, but I can tell. It sucks. I know. People call you a copycat asshole or copycat bastard like that Bakugo kid. But don't let that shit get to you, okay, man? In any case, I gotta go this way. Izuku nods and walks the other direction. We skip to a few days where Izuku is sitting in class. He has become friends with, like, Ochako. Surprisingly, Monoma, for some weird-ass reason. Like, the two just seem to click. And it kind of mellowed out Monoma and has kind of brung Izuku out of his shell a little bit more. And, well, the two have gotten somewhat close. Kind of like Season 5 Katsuki and Izuku. They're not really friends. Izuku still thinks that Monama's kind of arrogant, but after what Monama told him on the first day, he gets it. And he just thinks like, I guess even other people with abilities like mine are looked down on. So All Might comes in, busts through the door saying, "Coming through the door like a normal person!" So, before the heroes versus villains examination, I absolutely I put in 18 names because I was going to have a Deku v Bakugo in this so that they could have that little climactic fight. And Ochako was Deku's partner. Tokoyami is Bakugo's partner. And I know some of you commented, but I legit span it 3 times, and it landed on Ochako 3 times in a row. So I was like, fine, whatever. So after the lots are drawn and everything, like Deku and Izuku and Ochako are standing outside the building, are standing outside of the building, coming up with a plan. Izuku turns to Uraraka, and he's like, you have, if I remember correctly, your anti-gravity quirk. What's the extent of it? Think you can get us up there? Pointing to like the top of the building. I have a plan. Assuming Bakugo, he'll probably come after me. So, do you think you could get up there? If not, I can give you a lift with my quirk. And Uraraka says, I can, but if I use my quirk too long, I can get queasy. Izuku's like, okay, well, make yourself as weightless as possible. That way, I don't have to use a lot of power to get you up there. Uraraka, like, smiles, and Izuku begins to use float to move her up there. And he's like, whoa, that's pretty light. And as she gets over things, she puts a thumbs up, and Izuku like releases float, and Ochako releases her anti-gravity. And Izuku's talking to her through the earpiece, going over more that I'm going to be the distraction. Most likely Bakugo's going to come after me, and he's going to have Tokoyami guarding it. I just need you to find the bomb and wait until I get there. This is a fight me and that damn explosion firehead have had coming. Oh, this is going to feel good. All Might in the observation room just thinking, oh God, what have I done? Cut back a few minutes. Bakugo is talking with Tokoyami. Surprisingly, in this, Bakugo's just not going to go off the handle, because he does know Izuku's a big threat, and he's thinking, tells Tokoyami, well, your quirk, Dark Shadow, how well are you able to manipulate it? Because if Izuku gets in here, we need to keep him away from the bomb. So I can take him on, but on the off chance that I lose to his damn ass, make sure that damn round cheeks Make sure that dang round-cheeked girl doesn't get to the bomb. I'll get back as soon as I can after disabling Izuku. As hell, even if it was both of us, it'd be a difficult fight. But I know how he fights. I know how he thinks. He's going to be assuming I'm just going to be coming after him without a plan. So that goes off. Teams disperse. Izuku begins to walk in, and he's creating explosions in his hands with his gauntlets up. Katsuki comes rearing around the corner. Deku! I'll show you! My explosions are better than your damn copy! Izuku goes, Kachan, just because it's a copy doesn't mean it's any weaker! They run at each other. Everyone in the observation room's like, why isn't he using his other quirks? This is when Ida pipes up. I think it's because that was the first quirk he ever copied. And apparently the two used to be childhood friends, and then they had a falling out. So Katsuki comes in with a roundhouse kick and then creating an explosion. Izuku immediately dodges the roundhouse kick, creating an explosion to counteract Katsuki. Katsuki gets thrown back into a wall. It cracks a little bit. Katsuki goes coughs a little bit. Izuku gets thrown back and he coughs a little bit, and then he goes. Izuku gets out, cracks his neck. Katsuki's standing across the hallway too, and Izuku begins to laugh. Kachan, it's gotten better. Finally learned how to use your damn explosions with your with your kicks now. Well, unfortunately, I can't stay around too much longer. As Izuku reaches back, grabs two hose type things, puts it into his mouth, and everyone in the observation room just sees water running through the tubes, being pulled into Izuku's mouth as his arms begin to transform. And then he encases Bakugo. He's like, sorry to do this, Kachan, but it's the only way I can think about taking you down. Small explosions happen inside the bulb, knocking Bakugo out. Izuku then hears his calm comes to life. Izuku, I found the bomb. It's on the 4th floor, east wing, far side of the building. Currently outside. Hanging on, but okay, just make sure you save your strength. You're going to get his attention. From what I can tell about Tokuyami, he has a very powerful quirk, and you have to deal with it carefully to limit damage to the building as much as possible. So, as he's like, you'll know what the signal is. You'll know it when you hear it. Izuku comes bursting through one of the walls. Tokuyami turns and dark shadow begins to go over to Izuku. Izuku's like, I wonder. Starts creating explosions, creating light. And Tokuyami, dark shadow kind of recoils a bit. Tokuyami then comes in, but before he can actually hit Izuku catches his foot, and then over the intercoms, Hero Team wins! Tokiyami turns around and it's like, crap! I know, anticlimactic, but yeah. So the whole picking like a class rep and everything goes like in normal. Three people vote for Izuku. Well, actually, yeah, three people vote for. Yeah, three people vote for Izuku. Two vote for Momo, and one person vote. Like two people vote for. No, Izuku gets 4 votes. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at like the wrong page. Izuku gets 4 votes. Momo gets 3. And Ida gets 2. Momo votes for herself. Proves in the class vote for her. And the other 3, the 4 people that voted for Izuku are, of course, well, Ida, like in canon, Ochako, but also Monoma in this, because even though he wants to be it, he's more of the behind the scenes guy, kind of pulling the strings from behind the scenes. That's kind of his thing. And the 4th person, saving that for later, you guys don't get to know that one. And the 2 people that voted for Ida, well, were Momo and Izuku. Well, no, Momo, yeah. The 2 people voted for Ida. So the whole lunchroom thing happens like in canon. Izuku, seeing that it's just the news, tells Ida, and Ida's thinking, Izuku, do you think you can get me up there? As he's pointing to like the fire escape, and he's like, yeah, but so many people. I can't undo my gauntlets. As Izuku like is holding like his hoodie like down, and he's like, sorry, Ida, like I could, but like, Ochako, help Ida, use your anti-gravity quirk. Ida reaches, like, stretches out his hand and then barely gets to like Ochako before she gets dragged away a little bit. Ida, like in canon, becomes Mr. Signpost. Everyone, calm down. It's just the news press. They broke into UA. Everything's okay. We're UA students. Start acting like it. And like in canon, Ida's able to calm everyone down. When they get back to like the classroom, Izuku walks up to the front and he asks, he says, Aizawa-sensei, can I speak? It's like, whatever. So, you guys voted me for class president. Well, I think Ida should be our class rep. He was able to get everyone's attention and calm everyone down when I was basically useless. Because of my many quirks, I have a lot of stuff that I have to work on myself. So Ida, please take the theme. And then one of the boys that voted for Momo said, but Momo got more votes than her. Momo then pipes up, I actually didn't want to be representative, but honestly, I think Izuku's correct. Ida's like would be the best one. He already kind of acts like it. Everyone kind of like then begins to say, yeah, you're right. He's always talking about school pride and everything. Ida kind of getting flustered by this. So a few hours pass, and they make it to to the buses. Ida gets to it because Aizawa told them that in the afternoon they're going to go do the rescue training. So, sorry, one moment. Sorry about that. My throat was drying out and everything. And it was... Oh yeah, they're getting on the bus to go to the USJ. So Aizawa had told them that they would be doing rescue training off campus today. So they get to the USJ. The first bits go like normal. In canon, Izuku and basically everything that happens at the USJ will happen like it does in canon, with the exception of Bakugo maybe being a little bit more brutal with the villains. But hey, and also Minen is not here. So all the students do get sent to the same zones like usual. And something that should be noted, if you guys haven't caught up, Izuku can turn water into sludge. Well, he can turn any liquid into sludge, even blood, but that's totally different. The reason why he uses water is so that he can make purified sludge that he can adapt the explosions to it. Basically making nitroglycerin sludge. And the purer the sludge, the less amount of sludge he has to use to do sludge. So Izuku, he's surrounded by water. Yeah, not so good. As the shark person comes in, attacks and grabs a hold of Izuku, Izuku feels something weird begin to happen inside of his body. Then he sees weird red lines starting to form all over his body as his hands begin to get bigger and bigger, and then he just finally grabs the villain, and the person begins to scream out in pain, and then they lose their gills, and they begin to de-transform, and they pass out floating up to the top of the water. Izuku he's like, what the hell did I do? And then he feels something pulling him up out of the water. Izuku's just standing there looking at his hands as sludge begins to fall off of his body. He looks up and he's like, guys, did you see what happened back there? Suryu's yeah, you touched that guy and then his quirk went away. Did you have Aizawa's quirk? Izuku's I don't know. Something just felt off when I was surrounded by all that water. And then Monoma kind of comes up to him, puts his hand on Izuku, and he's like, it's fine, but what are we gonna do? So, in canon, they make the plane, but unlike in canon, Izuku's so, Monoma, you have a coffee quirk. What's the limitations of it? My apologies, I really wasn't paying attention on the first day. So he explains his quirk, and then Izuku's that's perfect. Zoo, is it okay if Monoma copies your quirk? You two can jump out, and when I jump off, I'll create a massive explosion and use my wave motion quirk to create a funnel, it should keep all the villains subsiding. At least in the water. We need to get over to Aizawa Sensei. That big thing didn't seem like it was too friendly. So they execute Izuku's plan like that. Like Monoma touches Tsuyu and like his face morphs a little bit. And Tsuyu kind of explains a little bit more of like how to jump, basically. And then when Izuku jumps off, he's just thinking, I feel weird. Like something. He powers up to like his absolute max of 20%. He's like, this is gonna hurt like hell, but I've got to. He jumps off, leaving a little bit, and then explodes. But then he looks down and his foot's still there. And he's like, oh, it must be because of all the water I've took in. And then as like the explosion like is starting to like finish up, he blasts the boat with like wave motion, knocking like the other villains that were not near the boat out. They all land on the banks, and he tells Sue, go help the others. You too, Monoma. I'm gonna go help Aizawa. But you can't do that, Izuku. You gotta get out of here. Sue just looking at Monoma. And by the way, they're saying Midoriya, but like it's just easier for me to say Izuku because of other stuff later on in the series. You'll find out. So Izuku he comes up next to Aizawa, and he's like after Aizawa had gotten knocked into the wall. And he's like, Aizawa Sensei, I know it's dangerous, but do you think you'd be able to get him? And before Aizawa can answer that, the Nomu had already appeared right there in front of it, hitting Aizawa, smacking Aizawa away. And Izuku's just staring at this thing, this sulking monster. And he just starts punching it. And Shigaraki's laughing. He has shock absorption, you idiot! Izuku's like, good to know. As Izuku forms out like sludge in his hands, puts his hands up and then blows Nomu's like arms off, while kicking it with his feet, knocking it back, sending it back about 20 yards. Izuku comes running in again, but this is when like Izuku sees like his arms, like the Nomu's arms beginning to like fall in, and then Izuku just gets decked right in the face. He goes flying, and then he feels someone catch him. And he's like, damn it, Midoriya! Told you couldn't do this. As Monoma just sees Izuku's face. Wait, are you okay? And then he just sees Izuku's jaw starting to like move back into place. But before he can think, the Nomu is already on top of them. Monoma kind of gets Izuku pushing away, and then it's just getting pounded. His face, his chest just getting hit into the ground, and the Nomu's just hitting it. Izuku, he's seeing this. He's seeing one of his classmates possibly being killed in front of them. And then he sees the Nomu. He looks at the Nomu and he's like, wait. Regeneration. Shock absorption. And able to see quirks? What the hell is... Wait. I have its quirks. If this doesn't kill me. I'm sorry, All Might. Full cow. 100%. As like he powers up to 100%. The people that can actually see Izuku, they just see his arms like exploding blood, his arms and legs and parts of like his chest just exploding off of him, in just massive amounts of blood just on the ground. There's a hand like 10 feet away. There's like a whole leg like 20 feet in one direction, a few toes around, fingers littered all around like where Izuku's standing. And then he's looking down at his hands and he's like, "You bastard!" And he comes in with a massive haymaker, 100% smash. Hits the Nomu once, knocks it back. Before the Nomu can react, he hits it again. And then the Nomu finally catches Izuku, knocking him up, punching him again right in the face. And he lands next to Monoma. And then he sees like Monoma's like chest reforming. And then Izuku is sparking with electricity. And then he sees like Monoma regrow an eye, and he's like, "Oh, that hurt like hell." Thank God the damn thing had a regeneration quirk. Ow. Bastard! Izuku screams out, powering up even more. 200%! As his arm explodes off, Monoma just shit. And his arm just basically reforms like right away. And then Izuku comes in for like a massive haymaker as All Might is busting through the door. And he sees Izuku go to hit the Nomu. And the Nomu is charging at Izuku, but before Izuku and the Nomu collide, the whole USJ is just engulfed in shadow all over like the floor. One figure catches the Nomu's hand. Red sparks begin to envelop the Nomu, and it just kind of drops to the ground. The female figure that had grabbed the Nomu, and mind you, as soon as Izuku collided with a man that was made out of shadow, and the Nomu collided with the woman that was made out of shadow, a massive shockwave. And the man in shadow just says, "So, you finally gained a regeneration quirk. Good. Keep it up, kid. You need to get stronger. And thanks for bringing out a test subject, Shigaraki. Or should I say..." And then Shigaraki just hears like words coming behind like his head. "Tomura?" Which freaks him out. And then the man in shadow turns to like the woman. "Are you done over there yet? Stop playing with your food and transport it already." "Izuku, Midoriya, I'll see you again." As he looks up at All Might, just grinning. "And you, All Might, I'll definitely see you again." And then all the shadows in the USJ like disappear until it gets to like a few feet away. And all of a sudden, one villain pops up, two villain pop up, three villain pop up, four villain pop up. All of a sudden, about 100 villains are sitting in the middle of the USJ, all bound and gagged. Shigaraki and Wart Bitch like decide to get the GTFO out there. All Might comes running down, like checking off like Izuku, and then he sees like body parts littered all across like the center of the USJ. And with that, you beautiful souls, that's where this part's going to end. I hope you enjoyed this part. The next part's going to be the aftermath of the aftermath. And let me know what you think of this series so far. Like the video if you enjoyed it. It does help with the algorithm, and I am trying to grow to 10K subs by the end of the year. That being said, I will see you beautiful souls in the next video. Also, thank you Eternal for helping out with this series. It's been amazing working with you on this. Go check his channel out. It'll be linked in the description below. And I'll also have a link to my Discord in the description. Out.